coming at you with a beer review on a beautiful but quite crisp spring day. It's April 10th, and I was just watching a bunch of the FABQs, the frequently asked beer questions that was started by Niche at Tasting Niche. Go check out her channel, and she's got great beer news and information out there. So what are we going to review today? Here it is. We've got the Big Juicy IPA. You gotta love that name. That's gonna get you to buy it right there. The Big Juicy IPA by No Lie Brewing out of Spokane, Washington. They make some pretty good stuff, you know. They're here in the Northwest, you know, to get the fresh hops available. This is an American IPA at 6.1% ABV and 55 IBUs. So let's get this one cracked open. So one of those questions you could maybe answer that's not on that quiz was, hey Kevin, you do so many beer reviews. Why is it Clement's Homebrew? Well, that's how we started. We started by doing homebrews. And quite frankly, I've got the heart of a homebrewer. I love homebrewing. I've made some pretty decent beers myself. And I think that's why I'm intrigued to try other beers. It inspires me to what I might like to brew. All right, so we've got this one finger nice white fluffy head on there. And this is just pretty damn clear. That's what I gotta say. It's a really clear beer. Very much like kind of a, someplace between gold and orange, you know, an amberish color, but more gold orange, I would say. Let's get the nose. Ah, yes. Now this was canned on February 2nd, and it's April 10th, so it's been out for just over 2 months. And I know that they use Citra, Eldorado, Belma, which you don't hear as much, and Azacca hops. Now I've used Belma in brewing. But, you know, the first thing I'm getting off this is the Citra right away. I get that classic characteristic that comes from the Citra. Citra can bring out a lot of tropical, some citrus too, but it gets that catty scent, which is really lovely. And the other thing I want to say I got right away was orange and mango. Both of those just jumped right out at me. And now I'm getting more on the citrus side. I'm picking up particularly the grapefruit character, but there's still some other like hints, like a light grassiness, some more tropical type scents, and maybe just a little bit of pine, like earthiness too. So it's a nice aroma coming off this. We're gonna dive in. Cheers. Oh, and it got me a little kick there in the middle. I love that. That's a nice beer. You know, this isn't one of these ones that's just a big slap in the face. And you know what? You don't need that all the time, although I do like that. But there's a lot of punch to these hops, especially over 2 months. Often I get beers that are very, very fresh. This is really good. It's a really clean beer, and it dries off in the finish. That's a style I love, especially in the summer. I love those ones that dry off like that. In terms of flavors, man, oh wait, now I got the resin kicking in. I love that. The bitterness is coming on. It's a medium bitterness. Yeah, all the flavors I talked about before are there, but what is unique about this, I think, is that it's only 6.1%. I say only, because a lot of the beers lately, they're all 7% on IPAs. They all want to be right at that edge. So it's not as heavily sweet as some of the beers that are out there. It's got a nice balance to it. And yet it's quite hoppy too. You really get that Citra kick in there, which is great. But I'm getting like grapefruit and some grapefruit rind going on. I still get a little bit of the orange coming through. The mango is kind of taking a back seat now. It was there at the beginning, but it's taking more of a back seat as the bitterness builds. And you get a little bit of pine, and not really so much of an earthy one, but more like a resin type pine and pine needles. It's just lightly grassy. You know, maybe like a little bit of a lemongrass kind of a kick on there. Still get some of that mango, like I said, maybe just a hint of some pineapple characteristic in it. And the malts on it, they're good, they're sweet. It's someplace between having like some kind of a light breadiness, a biscuit type malt, but maybe there's just a little bit of caramel aspect on it too, which is really good. This is just a really solid beer, is what I've got to say. It's so many of the beers are so huge and big and hoppy, and they're fun, and they're great to try, but they're more like one-offs. I couldn't drink it all the time. This is a beer that I could drink much more frequently, and yet it's still very hoppy. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this beer. In terms of American IPAs, man, I think it's a well-crafted beer. think it's a well-made beer. It's in the excellent range. I'm giving it a 92. Overall, I'm going to consider it more one of those B+ type beers, which is good. I mean, it's something you can have as a regular drinker. An 88 on my overall. It's a good one, though. I would say check it out. Here it is again. It's the Big Juicy IPA from No Lie Brewing out of Spokane, Washington. They make some great beers. You really should try them. This is Kevin Clemens Homebrew saying life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you on the next beer review.